everywhere burst few years ago as the case of Simon Ekpa is concerned. You know, a lot of big mouths and big bodies are now putting their mouth in the case of Simon Ekpa, and nobody is actually expecting the way the thing is actually going, because the Finland and the Nigerian government is never expecting it the way it's going. And a lot of people are saying that Simon Ekpa must not be extradited. You will hear what UK said few hours ago, what the UK Prime Minister said, and all of that. You will hear everything the way it goes. They are already occupying Finland for the release of Simon Ekpa at the moment. They said they no born Finnish government were to extradite Simon Ekpa back to Nigeria because they believe that Nigeria is evil. You will hear when the way it goes. And the US attorneys have finally occupied Finland for the release of Simon Ekpa. You will hear everything the way it goes. I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video, because I'm going to play you the full video and you see things the way it goes. If you can share the video, just do it to share it as you're watching it. Share it to the various social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG Watch TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG Watch TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, just do what to click the registration button appearing on your video screen, and at the same time just click the notification bell icon. Hit it, click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in viewers time, YouTube will easily let you to know. The case of Simon Ekpa is finally getting to another level. A lot of people never expected what is going on right now. Will be totally different from the case of Simon Ekpa. They never saw this coming. You know, Tinubu never believed that they can handle this case the way it is now. A lot of big bodies in the international communities, they're now putting their mouth on the release of Simon Ekpa. They said this man is not guilty. They don't want what happened to Nnamdi Kanu to actually happen to Simon Ekpa. Now, it was few days ago that they said they actually arrested Simon Ekpa, and since then, international communities have not have rest. Now, they're working towards the release of Simon Ekpa, because according to the report, the Nigerian government is actually working towards the extradition of Simon Ekpa to Nigeria. The way they extradited Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria, they want to do the same thing to Simon Ekpa, but they said no way. The Finnish government must not try to extradite Simon Ekpa. You will hear everything the way it goes. UK Prime Minister have finally burst out, and even attorneys of the US and all of that, they finally occupy Finland. They said no, what happened to Nnamdi Kanu must not happen to Simon Ekpa. They said this man is not guilty of anything yet, so there is no way for extradition. You will hear show the way it goes. I will like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video, just do it to share it. Share it to the social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like it, give it a thumb up. Now, let me play you the video of the US attorneys that actually occupy Finland. They said they're going to Finland to rescue Simon Ekpa. That Simon Ekpa must not be extradited to the evil man, to the evil hand, which is Tinubu. That's what they say. They said Tinubu is ready to defer Simon Ekpa. Now, they said Simon Ekpa in question is on the higher rescue at the moment. They said he must not be extradited. Now, hear from the US attorney, hear what they're saying, hear the plans they're actually cooking regarding the release of Simon Ekpa. Then when I come back, I will show you what the UK Prime Minister and all of that, what they said regarding the release of Simon Ekpa, how they say Simon Ekpa must be released with immediate effect and Finland will be occupied. Just stay connected. If you can share the video, share it. If you can share it, just like it. Listen to what the US attorney said, and when you hear that, I'm coming back again.
And our Prime Minister and we Biafrans, we are so proud of him. I call him my friend. He's a friend of Biafran. So when Biafra come, we're going to give him a title. So we'll be working very closely, dialoguing with US Congress, having a bunch of meetings. So we are more than friends. So, and the alliance, welcome to this town hall meeting. If you have anything to say to Biafran people, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to provide my greetings. I'm kind of bouncing around today, but I thought it was important for me to address all of you in our town hall, especially given the recent circumstances. I think, yes, we are in a challenging time with the challenges with the recent developments regarding the Prime Minister, but I think this is only a temporary step back. We have to continue with what we're doing, and what has happened will not deter us. And I just want to assure all of you that I will be in Finland, with the difficulties that that we are facing, this is a time to stand by your friends, to stand by your comrades, and we will not only are we not stepping back in any way, but we'll redouble our efforts here in Washington, D.C. To help the Biafran government, to help the Prime Minister. Right before the incidents of what happened, I arranged for the Biafran government to retain one of the top international attorneys in the world, who I work very closely with, Armand Dabiri, who's represented many foreign governments, who's engaged in a lot of sensitive international activities throughout the world. And I made this move because I knew, I didn't know what the Finnish government would do, but I knew that the Nigerian government is very devilish, and we always have to outsmart them. So that's why we brought on the attorney, who's been very helpful to us, including with this current situation with the Prime Minister. So I want to assure all of you that you should continue in your efforts. We will be victorious. And the reason why we are finding these challenges is specifically because the Nigerian government is concerned about the success we're having. That's why they're resorting to desperate measures. So we need to continue what we're doing. We've made a lot of progress. We can't let this very unfortunate setback stop the efforts we're making. We must continue our efforts because we're very close, not just with the convention, but with everything we're doing. I can tell you, I feel such a strong momentum in Washington for our cause. So I think Nigerian government, because they're desperate, they're engaging in everything they can. We can't stop what we're doing when we're so close to what we want to achieve. So I just want to assure all of you that I'm sticking by the Biafran government, the Biafran people during this difficult time. I'm not phased in any way. And I think the Nigerian government is very upset about this because, there's a lot of Nigerian propaganda saying, oh, now with what has happened, the lobbyists are going to leave and we don't have to deal with them anymore. And I put out a very strong tweet saying that this is a fantasy, that I am sticking through this regardless of how difficult things get, and I'm not deterred, which I think made the zoo very upset. So I just want to assure all of you that, again, this is a very unfortunate situation, but I'm not deterred in any way. I will continue with what I'm doing. Our firm will continue with what it's doing. And I continue to plan to go to Finland and speak to all of you and see all of you in Finland. So, my message is stay strong, stay calm. Yes, this is a unfortunate matter we're dealing with, but we need to keep calm and be very strategic in terms of navigating the next steps. So that would just be my message to everyone. And thank you again for all that you're doing. And I look forward to seeing everyone in Finland. So we all need to stay strong and stay resolute. So thanks again, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with all of you.
Now you can hear everything that they actually said. You can hear what the congressman of Simon Ekpa actually said. Now he said they invading Finland from US and all of that, and they don't want what happened to Nnamdi Kanu then to happen to Simon Ekpa. That's the game that is out there now. Tinubu never expected that the case of Simon Ekpa can actually be handled this way, because this man have gained a lot of international recognition. Now the UK Prime Minister finally bossed out. They said the same way Simon Ekpa is not guilty of the offense that is leveraged against him because they're actually charging for terrorism. They said this man is not a terrorist and is not guilty of it, that it must be released with immediate effect, that Finland should not try it. They don't bond them, made the extradition. That's what they say. They said Finland should not try to extradite Simon Ekpa back to Nigeria the way Kenya actually extradite Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria. Now, in the case of Nnamdi Kanu then, how many of you actually believe that Nnamdi Kanu was in UK, but Nigerian government were actually writing UK then, that UK should release Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria? But the UK Prime Minister said no, that they cannot extradite Nnamdi Kanu. They never listened to Nigeria government. The way Finland government never listened to Nigeria government, the same way UK never listened to them then. They never extradited Nnamdi Kanu then. But the moment Nnamdi Kanu make a move to Kenya, that was where they finally have the hand to extradite Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, because Nigerians believe that they are superior to Kenya. But if you look at the case of UK in question have an extraditing treaty with Nigeria. But yet, with the fact that they have an extraditing treaty, they have the license to extradite anybody to Nigeria. They did not extradite Nnamdi Kanu because the law is actually working in the country. They failed to extradite Nnamdi Kanu, but Kenya extradited Nnamdi Kanu, and they begin to see the things that Nnamdi Kanu is actually facing. Even when they say that they should release Nnamdi Kanu, that is not guilty of all the terrorism charges that was leveraged against him, the court failed to release him. Now, the same thing is what they want to do to Simon Ekpa. Now, the Finland government is saying that Nigerian government should come and defend themselves in Finland, but nobody is ready to go in Nigeria. They can't even go and face the Finland government to defend the terrorism that they said that they leverage against Simon Ekpa. There now, the UK Prime Minister have finally burst out. Since Simon Ekpa is not guilty, if Finland have to head, they should release Simon Ekpa back to Nigeria. In the bonded, they should extradite Simon Ekpa back to Nigeria. Everywhere is boiling at the moment. They are already occupying Finland. Everybody is occupying Finland from different countries. They said the case of Simon Ekpa is an international case and nothing must happen to him. Nigeria must not have him because Nigerian military are ready to devour him. That's the news out there. So I'd like us to stay connected to the end of the video. I want to play you the full video. You will hear everything the way it goes from Arise TV. Just stay connected. The reason why Simon Ekpa cannot be extradited back to Nigeria, you will hear everything from the UK police where law is working. Those are the kind of place that law is actually working. Just stay connected to the end of the video. If you can share the video, just share it, and if you can't share it, just like it. Stay connected. I'll come back again.
First and foremost, I speak as a professional, and secondly, I speak as a Nigerian, nothing more, nothing less. Professionally speaking, the Finnish authorities have done their due diligence and they have reasonable grounds to arrest Mr. Simon Ekpa. And in that arrest, they followed due diligence to now charge him based on the information we are getting. Obviously, we still have a lot of work to do for clarifications, to authenticate all these informations. Now, with that due diligence done, it's now made for the law court in Finland to now look into the request by the Chief of Defense Staff to extradite Simon Ekpa to Nigeria. Professionally speaking, the chances are possible to extradite Simon Ekpa to Nigeria. However, in my opinion, it's almost impossible, though it's not 100% impossible, because one, there is no extradition treaty between Finland and Nigeria. Number two, the Finnish authorities have every right to take him to court to answer to the charges against him, and that is perfect. That is due diligence. And afterwards, don't forget the CJEU, the Criminal Justice of the European Union, also have a right under the European human rights to also test if he is suitable to be extradited to Nigeria based on one, the charges against him, and number two, the fundamentals, because he has to defend himself in a court of law. You cannot just bring charges without him answering in response to the reasons why he's inciting violence, to the fundamentals why he thinks there's a reason for him to request for self-determination for the people of Biafra. The Criminal Court of Justice of the European Union has to check if they believe in self-determination. They have to check if they believe in human rights abuses, because bringing that man to Nigeria is a great idea, but I'm not sure that the Chief of Defense Staff should go home and relax and sleep, because they have to consider the human rights records in Nigeria as a country. Obviously, we are all Nigerians. We know our human rights records. There is nothing to boast about. And in instances like people that have disappeared in Nigeria, off my head, Daddy is still being looked for. Nobody has seen him for years. The people that participated in the so-called NSAS protest, many of them, after the panel, no human rights justice for them. The people that were involved in the End Bad Governance protest, no human rights for them. Even last week, we saw the human abuse of a couple by an army general. Up to today, we are still hearing. Or about politicians who believe they can buy the justice system in Nigeria, or politicians who believe they can buy vehicles, build houses for justices. So obviously, we have to understand that Simon Ekpa has to answer to his charges against him. I think that's due diligence to do, and I support that. However, we have to also ask ourselves, can the Finnish authorities, if they want to copy what we do in Nigeria, example, Simon Ekpa is a politician in Finland today. He joined politics in 2017 and is a member of the National Coalition Party, the ruling party in Finland today. They won their national elections in February this year, and they have a president of the country. Simon Ekpa also served the country as an army officer. Now, if you look at this human rights records in Nigeria, what Nigerian politicians have done about justice in Nigeria, do you think the National Coalition Party of Finland will feel comfortable to extradite Simon Ekpa to Nigeria based on zero extraditory treaty between Nigeria and Finland and based on human rights of Nigeria in general? So I think the right thing has been done. Okay. But in conclusion, sir, I think Nigeria also has to copy from Finland to know that due diligence matters. Due diligence space, not where people can buy justices.
All right, Mr. Onyekwelu, thank you so much for your input. I'll come back to you here in the studio. Of course, there's now an issue of financing terrorism as well. When you go onto social media, all you have to do is go through, especially Simon Ekpa's own social media. He used to go live regularly, and during his live sessions, people would come and donate money, and he raised a substantial amount of money. My question is, these ordinary people, whether they be in Nigeria or elsewhere around the world, do they now become implicated in finance terrorism as well? Should they be worried if somebody tuned into Simon Ekpa live on X or Twitter and they sent $2 to his PayPal? Do these people all become part of this bigger case now?
Yes, it's very possible that they can become part of the bigger case, depending on the conditions upon which they are doing. If, for instance, somebody is committing or is suspected or is committing a crime, and you join that person to prosecute it, to finance it, certainly you are likely going to go in for it. A crime is a crime. Remember, we also have issues of maybe receiving stolen properties or being part of it in any way where you are active in supporting an unjust cause or in supporting terrorism. You become part of it, except you have what you may call a defense, saying that you do not know. But then that defense may not be so easy and available to you. I think, but remember, all these are issues of evidence. So it depends what evidence can you bring. I agree with my colleague who said it will be a tall work for Nigeria. I do not know why is the Ministry of Defense that is taking this up. I think the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, assembling good international lawyers who will understand the type of evidence. Because since we don't have the bilateral treaty, it means we need to satisfy Finland or Finnish government that what Simon Ekpa is doing in their country, one, is a crime in their own country, is also a crime in Nigeria, as well as an international crime. So by the time you bring all this evidence and you bring those that are supporting that same crime, it becomes easier to say he can be tried. He raised issues of human rights in Nigeria. If Finnish government feels that Nigeria does not respect human rights, it may be difficult for Finnish government to also agree to extradite him to Nigeria. So these are very important.
Okay, but there was a difficulty even the time Nnamdi Kanu was in the UK. There had been a lot of calls by Nigeria as a government to extradite Nnamdi Kanu, but it didn't happen all through that period, except then the Kenyan situation happened and they went to pick him up. So that's one, just to be able to bolster the point you made. The second point I'm going to ask is, will these arrests bring peace in the Southeast? And this question is for both of you, because I am sick and tired of the insecurity and the killing, the loss of life and property, the loss of businesses. And I do not feel anybody, we all understand that there's been massive marginalization in this country, which we do not support in any way, shape, or form. And that's a clarion call on the politicians to fix that status quo. But that's not worth the lives of the people you claim you're fighting for being killed and their businesses being destroyed. Will this bring about peace?
Unfortunately, this has taken some time. You know, when Nnamdi started, he had disciples. Also, this time around, Simon Ekpa has disciples. So it's a question of the government trying to identify the disciples in the southeast. Because if you don't identify them and dislodge them, it may even get worse.
So they've been trying to dislodge them all this while. It's never worked.
It's never worked because the government doesn't seem to be very sincere and competently handling it. There's the issue of sincerity of purpose. There is also issue of competence in the handling of the matters. What we see in Nigeria is that security funds are usually siphoned. Intelligence reports are not usually, adhered to. So government must, at this stage, because the arrest of Simon Ekpa may relatively reduce the amount of money being spent in the funding of that aspect.
Do you have empirical evidence that Simon Ekpa funds what is happening in the southeast?
I am not a security person.
No, that's why I'm asking. You said may relatively reduce the funding of what is it. So it was based on what you said, and I'll ask you that question. Do you have empirical, or is there any empirical evidence that the money he gets, he funds the people on ground in the southeast? I'm going to come to you, a top police cop in the UK. Is this going to bring peace to the southeast?
Thank you so much for that question. Obviously, I'll pick up something, before I answer that question, I pick up something you said about the issue of marginalization in Nigeria. And I think, coming from a professional like you, I cherish that because that is the gospel truth. And if it's going to bring peace, the arrest of Simon Ekpa, honestly, what will bring more peace in the southeast, and I say to you as a son of the soil, is the release of Nnamdi Kanu from incarceration. That is what will bring peace in the southeast and most parts of Nigeria. You know why? Because the foundations on which Nnamdi Kanu was stolen, was illegally, extraordinarily rendited from Kenya to Nigeria, is illegal. And also the fact that certain competent courts of law have stated that Nnamdi Kanu is innocent and should be released also makes him a very sentimental and sensitive matter. So what will bring more peace to the southeast of Nigeria is the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu, because he was picked up illegally. If Nnamdi Kanu was arrested the way Simon Ekpa is arrested, he goes to the due process of the Kenyan people, and they believe he has to be taken to Nigeria on legal extradition. That's fine, but the foundations is questionable. So the person that will be released to the people of Southeast to bring that peace is Nnamdi Kanu. Coming to Simon Ekpa, I believe everybody has their days in court. Simon Ekpa is not guilty yet until proven guilty by a competent court of law in Nigeria, which there's no court of law that is guilty, or in Finland or anywhere. So I think, first of all, let him go through the process of legal jurisprudence. If he's found guilty, fine. If he's found innocent, release him also. That is what will make the people believe there is justice. Not the idea of release somebody by a competent court of law, and by the doorstep of the courthouse, you see a security agency waiting to pick up the person again for reasons best known to them. And in conclusion, sir, the issue of self-determination is something that the European Union believes in. And Finland is a bona fide, complete, permanent member of the European Union. They believe in self-determination. They believe in referendums. They believe in human rights. So when you bring Simon Ekpa to a competent court of law and you lay your charges against him, he also has the right to say, I'm doing this because of A, because of B. And he can now bring his evidences why he's doing what he's doing. It's not left for the court of law to decide if what he's doing is wrong or the way he's doing it is wrong or right. Thank you.
Well, self-determination is a principle in international law. But let me ask you, think, wear another cap. Do you really believe, Vince, that releasing Nnamdi Kanu is a solution to peace in the Southeast region, considering that even people of the Southeast are divided on that question? Do Do you really believe that? And how? As a national security risk strategist, as we have introduced you.
Thank you for that fantastic question. I am here speaking as a professional and as a Nigerian. What I believe is in the legality of every step you take in national security. What I believe that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was illegally, extraordinarily rendited, and I believe you believe that too. What I believe that he was kidnapped from Kenya. What I believe in his fundamentals were abused. What I believe that the court's judgment that said allow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a change of clothes, that's a court order, and the authorities refused him to change his clothes because they want to choose the kind of clothes Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must wear. How would you feel, Mr. Ruben Abati, if I choose for you the kind of clothes you must wear? That is one of the highest level of human rights abuses, and a court order was given and the people in power refused that. What I believe in, that when the court said release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that he should be released, what I believe is what the legal structure of Nigeria says, not about my own personal opinion, to avoid issues of saying, oh, because he's Igbo man. So I believe in professionalism. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu needs to be released because he has evidence about the illegalities, and he cannot build legality upon illegality, and he cannot decide for him what to wear. Okay, if he wants to wear Ishiago to his court cases, be it unto him. Thank you.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear everything the way it goes. You know, the US Congressman actually came out in that very video, and this is a very good friend of Biafra. He's a very good friend of Nnamdi Kanu. He's a very good friend of Simon Ekpa. You know, Simon Ekpa had been very kind to that guy from US and all of that, and he's making it known that this is the time that he, as a friend of Simon Ekpa, must stand to defend Simon Ekpa. He, as an attorney in US, he must stand to show the friendship that he actually have towards Simon Ekpa. And those are the kind of people that we're talking about as far as the world is concerned. Let's forget about the case of Simon Ekpa. Those are the kind of friends that people are actually aspiring to get as far as this life is concerned. People that can actually stay with you even in time of trouble. Now, the guy said he's going to leave US with his congressmen and all of that, and they're going to move to Finland, and they must ensure the release of Simon Ekpa in that same Finland. And a lot of Biafrans are actually working towards the same cause, that Simon Ekpa must be released with immediate effect, because the Nigerian government is actually working tirelessly towards the extradition of Simon Ekpa. Now, the same Nigerian question, according to what the UK police said in this very video, he exposed a lot of things. You know, he made it known to the general public that the Nigeria in question that is trying to extradite Simon Ekpa from Finland did not have any extradition treaty with the Finland. They did not sign any extradition treaty with Finland. So that's to tell you that Nigeria did not really have a kind of relationship with Finland, you know, and with so doing, and by so doing, Finland cannot extradite Simon Ekpa back to Nigeria. And mind you, how many of you know that the same Simon Ekpa in question is a politician in Finland, and the same Simon Ekpa in question is a very good friend of the president of Finland and all of that, because he himself is a politician. And that is why a lot of people are saying that Simon Ekpa joined politics in Finland 2018, and he have a concrete ground, he have a solid ground as far as Finland is concerned. He's not just an ordinary citizen of Finland, whereas he's a bona fide citizen and a politician in Finland. And now they try him for terrorism, and as they try him for terrorism, Nigeria government is praying that they should extradite him, but Finland cannot extradite Simon Ekpa because they have not found him guilty. That's what this UK police said. He said it, and I quote it. He said they have not found Simon Ekpa guilty because they have not even conducted his trial. They just questioning him at the moment. He's only questioning and answering that he's actually doing at the moment. They ask him about the Biafran, this thing. They actually deny Biafran. He denied being a leader of Biafran and all of that. Yes, a lot of people say this is a smart move because they don't want anything to just implicate him. That's what they're saying. Now, it's only questioning and answering that Simon Ekpa is still doing as far as the arrest is concerned. And as a matter remains, they said they've released Simon Ekpa back to his house, and they give him some kind of house arrest. And whenever they need him to come and answer questions, he go out to meet them to answer questions as far as the case is concerned. Nobody hold him hostage. Some people are saying that Simon Ekpa is in jail and all of that. Is that how easy to put someone in jail? It is not that easy in any country to just throw someone in jail. Finland is the kind of country that actually respects the fundamental human rights of all their citizens. It's not like some other African countries that we don't even mention their name, that defy people of their rights, that defy people of their fundamental human rights, that dehumanizes people, that do all manner of things. But European Union and Finland, they are kind of organization and the kind of countries and the kind of international bodies that respect human rights. Now, Simon Ekpa is in his house, but he's still answering questions. They gave him some kind of house arrest. That's what is happening now. They said the extradition thing is not going to be possible because they have not counted him guilty for all the terrorist charges that was leveraged against him. They have not found Simon Ekpa guilty. But if they should find him guilty, we don't know the next move. But as they stand now, they have not found Simon Ekpa guilty of any of the offenses that has been leveraged against him. And according to what people are saying, according to what the US attorney said, and according to what the congressmen actually said, and all of that, and what a lot of Biafrans are saying, they said they're actually working against the December 2nd declaration of Biafra. And a lot of people are coming out, they said Nigerian government is actually fighting against the declaration of Biafra on the 2nd of December in Finland convention that Simon Ekpa actually wanted to host, because Simon Ekpa made it known and clear that he's going to raise the Biafra flag up very tall, and the whole world will see the flag of Biafra. And by so doing, do you know what it means to raise the flag of Biafra in the convention? That's to tell you that Biafra is actually out of Nigeria totally, and there's nothing anybody will be able to do about that at that very moment. And that's what Tinubu is actually fighting against, because they believe that Tinubu government is one of the causative agents and one of the reasons why Simon Ekpa is being arrested in Finland now as it stands, and they're trying to delay the convention. That's why a lot of Biafran people are actually saying that the convention is what they're trying to delay. And some Biafrans have come out, some key people in Biafra, some high-ranked people in Biafra have finally showcased on media. They said whether they extradite Simon Ekpa or not, whether they arrest Simon Ekpa or not, the convention will stand on the 2nd of December, and they will raise the flag of Biafra very tall, and there's nothing anybody will be able to do about it. That's what they're saying, and they mean it. These people actually mean it with all their energy. But the Simon Ekpa is still saying that it will be available in that same convention and nothing will happen. Now, a lot of people are saying that this man is not guilty, he must be released with immediate alacrity. What do you guys think? I want to hear your take regarding the arrest of Simon Ekpa and all of that, because according to report now, he's not guilty of anything yet, because Nigeria have not been able to defend the terrorism charges that they actually leveraged against him. They've not been able to defend him. Now, Simon Ekpa is still very pure now, it's still very clean, and that is why the extradition can still be very impossible now, and that is what is giving a lot of Biafrans hope at the moment. Now they're saying they must release Nnamdi Kanu, that the arrest of Simon Ekpa is not what is going to stop insecurity in the eastern part of Nigeria, that the insecurity will even increase because Simon Ekpa have a lot of disciples, but they said the release of Nnamdi Kanu is what is going to stop all those insecurities in the eastern part of Nigeria. So what do you guys think regarding all these things? Drop your opinion in the comment section of this video, as I'm gonna do to get another for you, and share, follow me on my social media handles, because I'm gonna drop another video in few hours time. Drop your opinion, just feel free, as I'm gonna do to get another for you, and share, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and Lamp Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, he pastor for LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you with the for church. All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.